I want to talk about the 3 very important conversation tips to, well, keep the girl and keep dating her. Now, I've talked about how to keep a conversation going, maybe some conversation starters, but these 3 conversation tips is foundational, and it'll help you in the short term and long term, no matter how long you have been dating. So I hope you listen to this, and if you don't do any of this, to start making some changes. So conversation tip number 1, be direct and straightforward. Don't be afraid to make your intent known. There's so many times I've had men ask me, what does it mean when a girl does this? What does it mean when she said this and did this? And I always say, the only way you can really know is by asking her. I can give you a theory, but you won't actually know your answer until you actually ask the person herself. And I feel that many fear that you may step on her toes, you may be pressuring, you may be crossing any boundaries, you may be disrespectful. But quite honestly, if you come from a point of understanding, you're just gonna get your answer. She's not going to feel like it's rude. Just make sure you're not coming from a place of assumption and judgment. That's where it's not good, right? So, for example, let's say a woman is texting a lot while you're on the date. Right? Instead of saying, well, you can leave if you want because I can see there you're texting a lot. That's not really good, right? Instead, asking, hey, is everything okay? And if she asks, yeah, why? It's like, oh, I just realized you've been texting a lot and I just want to make sure you're good or you're having a good time. That shows your understanding. That shows that you just care. You want to make sure you're not wasting her time and she's not wasting your time. If you feel that you've been dating for months and you recognize that you've been doing and putting in so much effort into the relationship, but you don't know how she's actually or how much she's actually invested, then you can ask. Say, hey, I just want to get your thoughts on something. I know we've been dating for 3 months or so, and I've been really trying my best to meet you halfway, and I just want to know what your thoughts are on all of this, because I recognize in all the dates that you didn't seem as interested, or you didn't reschedule any of those dates. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. That's it. There is no way you can go wrong or that you would be rude or disrespectful if you just come from the place of trying to hear her out. And quite honestly, if she gets defensive because you ask for her thoughts and you want to understand her, then that's not the right person for you. All right? Once again, as long as you're not assuming and you're not judging, come from a place of understanding. So that's definitely number 1. So conversation tip number 2, get comfortable in talking about yourself. The biggest mistake I see is, men, it's great that you want to get to know the lady so much and you keep asking questions, but you barely talk about yourself. And if you don't talk about yourself, how is she going to get to know you? It's okay to lead and guide the conversation and then mention your own story along with that topic. So if you're talking about something, or she talks about something that really relates to you and you've had that similar experience, it's okay to share. It's okay to talk about it. That will allow her to be curious, and hopefully she will ask you questions about it. Now, I will say, if you say things about yourself and then she still has not asked you a single question on the whole date, it's a red flag. So recognize that you giving information about yourself is a good thing. It allows her to be curious if she's interested, but it also shows the ladies who just don't care. So you want to let go of them anyways. If you have trouble talking about yourself because you fear, that you're self-absorbed or that you're cocky, that's more of a mindset obstacle. That's something to overcome internally than it is about finding out the strategies of how to speak. But that's another area that we're not talking about today, so you can go watch the mindset stuff. Conversation tip number 3, practice your listening skills and transition skills. I feel like many men say that they listen, but women don't know that you're listening. So what I mean by that is validating her in the conversation, nodding when you're listening. Transitions, or sometimes just little validations like, oh, that's great that you do that, and nodding your head, nonverbals, leaning in, right? And when I say transition skills, I mean being able to go from one topic and maybe asking more about it with, tell me more about, or what does that mean to you, or how did that go for you, right? Really just transitioning from one topic to another. And when you talked about family, maybe that transitions into travel. But being able to make those connections and transitioning it from one thing to another, whether that be talking about yourself, but transitioning conversation topic to another, and then hopefully it flows to an activity or a date. But really practice those things, the listening skills and knowing and showing that you are listening, but also the transitions. All right, so those are my 3 conversation tips for you. Once again, that is being straightforward and direct, getting comfortable talking about yourself, and practicing your listening and transition skills. Very important, guys. So hope you enjoy this video. Get out there, start conversing, but please pay attention to these. They're really a game changer if you just start doing them.